Well, good morning, paddlers. Day 4. And it's a cold start, but it is the start, so that's fair enough. I've left my watch in the tent, and I did just look at it. It's round about 5:30, 5:45. I got up at 5, and all I've done is light a fire, make a coffee, so about 5:30, 5:45, yeah. And it is quite chilly. That's why I'm all wrapped up. I got my down quilty coaty thing on and my big windbreak, and I'm warm enough now. But I wasn't last night. Seeing that I had to sleep in this again last night. I had a cold night, and I've got a bit of an issue. Wouldn't be an issue if the nights were warm, but it's an issue because the nights are cold. Right, my sleeping pad has burst. Right, well, I'll rephrase that. It hasn't burst. Right, the valve has somehow split, and I'm pretty sure I know how. Right, because the other night I woke up and I was laid on it. Hello, miss. Are you a frog? No, you're a lizard. Frog, sorry. Little lizard. Gone. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, I had. I was laid on it, and I knelt on it, and I heard a just. I thought. And the valve, the glue's come away slightly, and it's not a repair you can really do out in a tent and stuff. So, you see, I was either going home today or tomorrow. Right, so it's not the end of the world. The only difference is, today it's meant to be a lot windier, and the wind's blowing straight from the direction, straight at me where I want to paddle back. Now, under any normal circumstance, that won't be a problem. Fine. Like, I went out for a paddle yesterday and it was quite windy and there was 1 or 2 chop, but not a problem. But when my boat is fully loaded, you've got less control over it. Same as when I came up here. Same issue. But when I say the wind's blowing straight at me, it's coming in on an angle. So, you know what I mean? The wind's coming that way, I'm going that way. So I'm going to be like, what's that sailing terminology? Tacking. I love that word. Tacking along with the wind. And it could cause problems. And it's 5 miles, so that's not a long way, but it's far enough when you've got a overloaded kayak. Overloaded kayak and a hell of a wind, and then you're battling the current as well. But that's today. Tomorrow is meant to be a bit calmer. That's why I was planning on going tomorrow, heading home tomorrow. But like I said, with that mat now being down, I'm basically on the floor. I managed yesterday. I got some of the old stuff sacks and bits and pieces and a towel, and I shoved them all underneath the sleeping bag. But I mean, I was still cold last night. I mean, I've been cold for the last few nights, as you'll know. And I don't fancy attempting, you know what I mean? Which is crazy when you're thinking about it, because all these sleep. If you're my age or older, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about now. Right? When we went camping, when we were younger, so to speak, we never had out like an inflatable mattress to sleep on. We used to have a towel, a blanket. You put the blanket down. If you were lucky, you had a sleeping bag, but it wasn't all ducked down and all this sort of stuff. Right? But you'd put a blanket down, and that would be your mattress, your blanket. And I don't seem to ever remember complaining about it because it was the norm. But you give somebody a luxury and then you take that luxury away, it's the end of the world. Yeah. It's like, imagine right now your favourite whatever, it could be a car, a motorcycle, a kayak, whatever, somebody gives you it and says, this is a gift. Right? You have it for, say, 24 hours, and then they come back and say, oh, sorry, I made a mistake, it's not for you. You're like, no! But yeah, never had anything like inflatable mattresses to sleep on. What we did have from time to time, right, if you could be bothered carrying the bloody thing, was like a bed. It was like a, you've seen on beaches deck chairs that open up where they're all over the beaches, you know what a deck chair is. Well, there was like a metal frame bed like that. If I can find a photo, I'll put one up. Right? I can still picture me, my mum and my dad in the back garden with one each, laying on them, sunbathing or whatever. Where you sort of like, they're like a square, you fold the front down and the legs come down, you fold the back down and the legs come down. And you'd be laid on it like a bed. And if you've ever owned one, you'll know what I mean. You'd sit up and the back end would spring up and nearly take the back of your head off. Occasionally you had them if you could be bothered carrying one. Hello. But yeah, most of the time, well, 90% of the time, you just put a blanket on the ground and then a sleeping bag on top of that, or another blanket to wrap yourself up in, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I've done that in the Lake District in the snow. Right, go on, call me a liar. I want someone to call me a liar because I've got photographs. There again, it was, forget that, because it'll only show photographs of me in the Lake District in the snow. It won't show you the inside of my tent, my canvas tent. Yeah, none of these sil nylons and stuff like that, and polyesters. It was a canvas tent that weighed about 50 stone. I weighed a ton. You'd bloody drive in as close as, you know, you want to camp up that hill, let's say, you'd get your car as close as possible, right, and then you'd walk the rest of the way, or you'd get the bus or the train to wherever you go in, right, and you'd try and get as close as possible on your plotty trains and your buses, because you know that canvas tent and your blanket and stuff weighs a bloody ton. But yeah, who was I with? I was with somebody in the Lake District in my canvas tent and my blanket on the floor. I want to say Dan, but I think I'm wrong. It was years. I mean, we are going back 40 plus years ago now. I know he had a dog called... No, oh bloody hell, what was his dog called? Oh, forget all that, forget that. You've had the story, I can't remember names, I'm bloody useless with names. But yeah, so that's my dilemma. Do I pack up today and head back? Well, it's windy, but, or do I spend another night on the freezing cold, freezing my butt off, and then head back tomorrow as planned, when it'll be easier with a loaded boat? I've made a decision. It's pack up time. I'm not going anywhere yet, it's still too cold, right? But when it warms up, I'll be the wind is meant to pick up a bit more, as I said, but whatever. Yeah, so anyway, I'm packing away. Oh, I will show you, because you may wonder. Turn round, camera. These are the only shoes I've got with me for kayaking. Fantastic water shoes. They look a bit messy, they need a good clean, but fantastic water shoes. I've done a review on these already. They are about the best water shoe you can buy, right, to be honest, they really are. Right, but they're a little pricey, but they are about the best. Unfortunately, they're no good when the water's absolutely freezing. They're for summering. I brought them thinking on the off chance, if the water's warm, I'll put them on to go for a swim. You get me? Just so I don't catch myself on anything sharp. That's the only reason why I didn't bring them to paddling. I was bringing my NRS boots to paddling. Oh, bloody leaf just catching him in the corner. I thought, what's that? Yeah, I was bringing my NRS boots to do all the paddling in. And like I say, I forgot them. So now I'm chiggling out into the bloody water up to my knees in the cold water. Luckily, it wasn't too bad yesterday. And in the boat, it was quite hot. So the inside of the boat got warm and everything. But yeah. I'll say one last thing in case I forget. Right, because I know for a fact a lot of people are new to camping and stuff, because I've been asked a few times about camping, and because of my last Scotland trip, what about this, what about that type of thing. Your fires, when you're finished, you don't need to see a picture of a fire, but when you're finished, where is it? I've got it somewhere. Oh, it's down there. When you're finished with your fire, right, and it's completely and utterly, right, burnt out, right, trust me, it's still hot in there. Right, so before you go, before you leave, before you go anywhere, right, pour water on, lots and lots of water. Make sure it's 100% out. And you're meant to scatter the ashes and stuff, but as long as you put enough water on, not scatter the ashes, scatter the coals, but as long as you've got enough water on there, that'll do. I can't get everything in. I'm having real problems getting everything in, which is funny because I've actually got less stuff, haven't I? Because I've been eating and stuff like that, so I've got less, but I'm having problems getting everything in. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Let's show you the camp then, or the non-existent one. Them bits of wood there, they were wet, so I'm leaving them there. They're nearly dry and they'll be handy for the next person who comes along. I put about 8 buckets of water on that, so that's definitely out. And yeah, as the saying goes, leave no trace, and I've left no trace. You see that runs right through the middle of where I was, and there was a knobbly bit somewhere. Luckily it wasn't on the sleeping bit, it was on the other side, shall we say, the sitting bit. And every now and again, come to say bye, every now and again it'd get me right on the backside. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you, just so nobody can say he left a mess or something or other. Like I say, I poured about 6 buckets of water over that fire, and the only thing I'm really leaving is them which I collected and they was damp, and I put them there to dry and I never did use them, so they'll be completely dry for the next person. But yeah, it's been nice here, been very peaceful. I'll have to come again. I can't figure this out though. This is bugging the hell out of me. My front hatch and my back hatch are full to the brim. They are full. And the back here is bulging out. You know what I mean? I've lost half my seat room. And I've still got 2 bags there. Right? And these bits and pieces. And I cannot for the life of me figure it out. You seeing it? I can't even leave anything because it'd be classed as leaving rubbish. I mean, I've got plenty of food left over. If there's somebody else camping down there, I'd say, hey, have my food. You know what I mean? But I can't, like, well, there's nothing apart from the food. I'd leave the food because I don't need that. I'm going. But I can't leave anything because you're leaving rubbish. And I'm not going to make 2 trips, so I'm going to have to play it dangerous. Well, not too dangerous. The wind's dropped, by the way. Alright, so pity the freaking no sleeping pad. I'm just going to have to pile the cockpit up which you shouldn't do. Right, but hopefully the wind will stay down. The only risky bit is when we get nearer to the end or the beginning, whichever way you look at it, when it gets real shallow, and on the way in I had to get out and walk the boat. So being able to jump out quick is a necessity. We'll see what happens though. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see over me. You get me? I might have to have the camera on an angle all the time. We'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah. There's my beloved campsite, so I'll catch you on the water. Well, balance isn't bad. So we're floating now. And yeah, balance isn't bad. Unfortunately, I'm not going to see much that way, look. If I'll tilt you. Tilt you like that. See if that's any good. I don't know. See what happens. Be a nice place to live, wouldn't it? big rocks. Come on, miss them. Oh, and there as well. Shit. Oh, over a bit more. Excuse my French. Because I've got so much weight in the boat. Right. Oh, we're getting into shallow again. Oh man, we only want to be there. Just like it'll be awkward for me getting out. I've got the cockpit full. Below knee height by the looks of the water. Could be wrong. Just trying to skim it, I don't need to be there. Anyway, I'm too busy talking to you, I'm not concentrating. Just need to be down there.
Right there.
Yeah, I'll just dump it here until you're finished.
We might be a while. Or...
You're right, you need us to move or?
I should. Oh, shut back. I just realised there's about a 3-foot drop just to my left.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Here you go. Space.
Come in there. Come to the right a bit more now.
I didn't realise that drop was there.
Yeah. About. Is that the right height for getting your testicles in the cold water?
Yeah.